Welcome back to the morning show. It's time for our 3-minute grill.
Leah Bodine with Blue Dragonfly Catering is making a rustic veggie stew. Good morning, Leah. This sounds like something perfect for today.
It is. Thank you so much for having me. As long as nothing blows away.
Well, you know, it's windy out there, so we're glad.
A little bit. Jack didn't put in my weather request, I guess.
So where do we begin with this stew?
Okay, so this stew, basically I wanted to have it done so you guys can have some after I leave. So it's so simple. It's the basic ingredients are potatoes, carrots, sweet potatoes, onions, celery. And then you can actually put in corn, peas, whatever else that you want. And then I'm just going to take the lid off here. Do a little bit of cornstarch for thickening. Now, I'm gluten intolerant, so I can't do the flour. So not only is this a great hearty stew, but it's also vegetarian and vegan because we make our own stock. And it's gluten-free because I use cornstarch as a thickener rather than the flour. And then I have a little bit of fresh thyme in there. I threw a rosemary sprig in there, which I'll pull out later. But this is something that you can make to however you want. So what I do a lot of times with this is after it sets overnight, it will thicken up. I get a couple pie crusts and put chicken in it and then put it in the pie and make a chicken pot pie out of it. So you can put chicken in here, you can put beef in here, anything you want. So this is just the very basic. You can kind of do with it whatever, whatever meet your fancy basically. So I'm going to dish up a little bit here so you can kind of see it. And I did a kind of a shortcut, and a lot of times I'll do this. This is also a good way to use up all your veggies in your pantry if you don't have anything on the meal calendar for them. But what I did is I actually roasted these first to give it just a little bit of extra depth of flavor, but you definitely don't have to do that. I just had time and decided that's what I wanted to do. I used as much local ingredients as I can. I used rainbow chard and sweet potatoes and carrots from Sola Gracia Farms. Like I said, we make our own stock, so that adds another layer of flavor and freshness to it.
Very cool. Perfect. Absolutely perfect weather to be enjoying some stew out there.
Oh, yeah.
As it's so cold and windy right now.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the preparation? You mentioned it was pretty easy to put together. If somebody is kind of on the go, they need to get it done quickly. How quick can they put that together?
So if you don't pre-roast your vegetables, if you have leftover veggies, let's say you had like some sort of roast with potatoes, carrots, and celery that's already cooked, it's about start to finish 15 minutes.
Wow.
If you start from just the saute portion of it, then you are looking at 30-40 minutes at the most. So it's super simple, super easy weeknight meal. And especially if you have like the leftover chicken or a rotisserie chicken that you can pick up in the store, you can even make it heartier.
Yeah, and you can freeze it and then use it later on, or just make, like you said, add different stuff to it throughout the week so it doesn't feel like you're eating the same thing all week.
The only thing that I would recommend is if you're going to freeze it, you can add pasta to this if you want, but if you're going to freeze it, don't freeze it with the pasta. Kind of think, make a big batch and then freeze some of it, and then kind of make a little mental note or your kitchen note that says, hey, I have this much in the freezer, so what I want to do is the next batch maybe throw some pasta and some chicken in it, or however you want to bolster it and make it a little bit different.
And Leah, you have some fun things in front of you, and I can't wait to hear about this product launch that you have. What do you have?
Well, you know from previous segments how I love to travel and find olive oils and vinegars, and so I decided that it was time for me to launch my own brand. It's called Leah Blue, which means Blue Dragonfly in Italian. And what I have is we have a house blend, we have an Italian blend. It's the Oligarola tree That means it's a single vintage off of that tree. I also have anywhere from a 6-star to 8-star balsamics, depending on whether they're light or dark. I have 25-star barrel-aged white and dark balsamics that pour almost like, I like to say honey. They're so thick and so rich. And the one thing I have that I'm really super excited about is my Lambrusco vinegar. As much as I've traveled, I've never seen that. I do use an importer out of California, and that's how I was able to come about it. It's got like this slightly, you know, tart but berry finish. We use it in our house vinaigrettes along with our Italian oil, a little bit of Dijon, salt, pepper. That's it. That's all you need. And I'm literally launching today. You can get them on my website. I have limited quantities right now because due to COVID, everything's slowing down. I have more bottles coming, but I also have some available at Yellow & Company in Mahomet.
Perfect.
And it's the perfect time, too. Yeah, that's a good gift.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now they're just single bottles on the website. I will be putting together some baskets that you can order as well. And we do have free local delivery, Champaign-Urbana, Savoy, and Mahomet.
Well, I'm creating my list right now.
Making your list. Just out of curiosity, where do they start in price, and where do they go to as well?
The traditional white and dark, the smaller bottles are 200 mils, the larger bottles are 250 mils. The 6-star white and 8-star dark are $11.50. The Lambrusco is $12.50. The olive oils are $14.50, and the 25-star barrel aged are $15.50.
Yeah, not expensive either. That's perfect.
No, and the thing of it is with these barrel aged ones, literally, I've had a bottle this size of another product about the same quality and consistency. It lasted me a year. You just don't need that much. A couple drops goes a long way.
All right, remind us, Leah, real quick before we wrap up, where people can find you on Facebook and your website.
Okay, so it's Blue Dragonfly Catering.com. Facebook is the same. And you can also, I also have, I say Instagram and Twitter, but don't go there yet.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Believe me, I've learned more about a website and Facebook during the last 8 months than I have learned in my entire life. And I'll be 60 in January, so that's a long time.
That is perfect. Leah, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you today, and we look forward to trying those mouth-watering recipes, too.
Awesome. I'll send some soup in.
Thanks, Leah. Good to see you.
Bye.
Jack's got your forecast right after this. We'll be right back.